I make art because it is kind of like my fingerprint on the world and like expressing my piece of uniqueness and showing it to everyone for everyone to enjoy and to also invoke some form of emotion in people, whether that's inspirational or happy or sad, like depending on the piece that I've created. I want people to feel my work and feel my individuality, and hopefully that inspires people to express their own individuality as well. I feel like I pull inspiration from a lot of different people, but I do want to commend myself as my own inspiration because I feel like I've been through so much in my life and I've seen myself revive myself and pick myself back up from very low moments, from something that's very much internal and within my own world. There are external factors that do inspire me on a daily basis, but I am the drive that keeps me going and also the drive behind my artwork and my creativity as well. And this kind of sounds silly, but I would love to collaborate with The Weeknd. He is mostly a musician performer, but he does do other artistic projects. Sometimes he does movies and things like that, shows. So I feel like I would love to somehow be in a creative space with him and be able to connect on that creativity level and show something to the world that's just something that they've never seen before, pretty much. How did I get started? I got started from a very young age. Like I've been doing art since I could pick up a pencil pretty much, but I did take my art seriously as far as wanting to push it out into the world as an identifying part of me with I would say about 3 or 4 years ago at this point. I started with illustration with black and white pencil and paper, and then I transitioned into more bright colors, more acrylic painting and using a bigger canvases and things like that. And now my work has kind of ascended to trying to get away from the canvas and trying to paint on clothing and incorporate fashion and being a little bit more multifaceted with what I'm trying to, how I'm trying to display my work to the world and allowing people to actually wear art instead of just having to see it on a canvas or a wall in a museum. My artistic process is a little bit chaotic, I won't lie. I don't have a structured way of saying, this is when I'm going to create art today, this is how I create art. It's more of a visionary type of thing for me. I will see a picture in my mind's eye, or I'll hear a song, or I'll be going about my day, and then something will spark a moment in my mind, or I'll see a picture in my mind, and then I'm like, I have to paint that, or I have to draw that, or I have to express that in some form of fashion. And then that's when I will piece together in my mind's eye, like how to execute it from my brain to my hands and then to whatever medium that I am doing it on. So it's a little bit chaotic, but I feel like there's a little bit of beauty within that chaos of the artistic process and transforming it from something that only exists to me and then transferring it to exist to everybody else to take in. I make art for myself. It's definitely an expression of myself, and it definitely is a form of therapy as well, self-care, being able to express myself, but I also make art for the world as well. I feel like I mentioned it a little bit earlier before, but I really do want to inspire people. I want to put more color into the world. I want people to feel like they're they're able to express different sides of themselves. They're able to be multifaceted. They're not limiting themselves to one form of art. They're not, like, I'm kind of anti-minimalism a little bit. I'm kind of anti-minimalism as far as like the grays and the blacks and the whites. And I kind of want to just put a splash of color and just like let people have fun with that chaos. And I want everyone to like see a piece of my world and to be able to find joy in it at the end of the day, is to find joy and to express joy in the world. My role as an artist is pretty important. I know I'm kind of stepping outside of myself, but I feel like the role as an artist in this world is so important. And the phrase separating the art from the artist, I kind of feel like that gives the artist the lack of accountability for how they put out their mentality and their behaviors into the world. And I feel like if you don't have good morals as an artist and don't have other people you're not taking other people's lives into your best interest as well, and to be able to support that and love them and accept them for, you know, who they are, but also take accountability for how you are putting your own ideals into the world. I feel like your role is it's very important. And I just feel like artists need to take more responsibility as far as how they're inspiring people, because I feel like art is one of the most inspiring mediums in the world. And art can go as far as music, painting, crafting, anything like that that's more of a mental, spiritual, and creative concept. I feel like it's very easy to impose views on people. And I feel like as an artist, you have to take responsibility for what you put out into the world. And I also try to do that responsibility for myself as well. I feel that the Baltimore art scene is a lot more personable than other art scenes, at least as far as I know, because I was born and raised here. But I feel like the Baltimore art scene is a lot more personable, a lot more in person. I feel like it's a lot less social media centered and a lot more community centered, and actually getting up, going outside, going to a venue, going to visit people, going to network with people, you know, eating and dining with people and enjoying art. I feel like it's a lot more connected in that form of way, rather than, you know, being so far apart. Because as a whole, Baltimore is pretty close knit. The DMV is pretty close knit. So I feel like it's a lot more homey. I would describe that as a lot more homey than I think other cities would be as far as the creative scene. Right now, I am working on a project of painting on clothing, creating an entire line inspired by the tarot, which is basically a 78 card deck where you have different spiritual information on each card. And I actually do tarot myself, so I kind of wanted to input that part of me within my creative process. And so I wanted to create wearable pieces like bags and jackets and things like that that reflect the tarot deck. So for example, one of the bags I have is the death card, and that was like the first piece that I created, because the death card kind of represents transformation, going into a new form of life. So I kind of wanted to use that as the initiator to my line that I want to create. And so I am in the process of creating 78 different pieces to reflect that. It's taken a minute, but I'm getting there. It's happening, and I'm very excited to show it and display it with the world. House of Phoenix, as that's my art gallery page on Instagram, and then Phoenix Fire is like my more personal page on Instagram.